I remember that it was my very first year at university and I was just sitting at the university cafeteria. There was no one else at the table where I was sitting. I had a sandwich with me. Right when I was about to take a bite, a thought came to me. You are such a loner, sitting alone at a table. People are probably laughing at you and they probably know that you're a loser too. Once I took the very first bite, the thought then changed to, you probably look like a dork when you chew. You look like some uncivilized, dorky looking Indian. I just felt like everyone in that cafeteria was looking at me. I could literally feel it, like lasers coming out of people's eyes and just burning a hole through my head. Now this was not just a one-off incident. This was my life. I could not even ask for an extra packet of ketchup at McDonald's. If during a university lecture I had a question, I would not ask the professor. I felt like the entire room would laugh at me. That was me. I had crippling social anxiety. Fast forward to 2024, I am now someone who thrives in social scenarios. The proof lies in the fact that I'm making YouTube videos, literally filming myself thinking out loud and letting a bunch of strangers judge it. The anxiety-inducing voices in my head have gone away. In this video, I'm going to share how I transformed myself from this nervous wreck to someone that is not only confident, but also enjoys and looks forward to social gatherings. From someone who used to be an outcast to someone who now became the center of attention. You are exactly what you think you are. When you think of some food that you like, you begin to drool. When you think about a heated argument in the past, your body begins to get into that fight or flight mode. It tenses up. Your thoughts, both conscious and subconscious, dictate how your body responds and therefore have a significant impact on your ability to perform. This brings us to the concept of self-image. Self-image is your collection of core beliefs about yourself. We all know that one person who's really obese and this person is trying to lose weight. He loses a couple of pounds here and there but eventually ends up gaining it all back. This is because he still has the self-image of an obese, unhealthy person. Imagine you have a rubber band placed between two fingers. That person makes all this effort to lose weight, stretching the band further and further, but eventually he snaps back to his self-image. You see, in the past I had the self-image of a loser, someone who was good for nothing, and my body behaved according to my self-image. It constantly gave me thoughts about people finding out that I'm a loser, people judging me, thinking I'm stupid. All these thoughts eventually transformed into anxiety. I was just hyper-focused on not appearing like a loser to everyone else, and that paradoxically made me very, very socially awkward. The very first thing that you need to do in order to fix your social anxiety is to recreate your self-image. When you have strengthened the internal foundation, then all the external affairs will be taken care of. The way that you acquired your current self-image is more than likely due to certain childhood events. Perhaps you failed a math test, perhaps a family member called you stupid. Once you had this negative self-image attached to yourself, then your mind just looks for evidence to reinforce your self-image. In order to fix your self-belief, you need to give your mind a different set of evidences. One that proves that you are a victor and not the victim. I'd observed that one of the reasons why I thought of myself as a loser was because I had pretty shitty grades. I decided to fix my grades. I was now studying 2 to 4 hours a day. Over time, I started getting better grades and I was able to become one of the top performers in my class. During this period of transformation, I had also joined a gym. After a couple of months, I observed a noticeable difference in my physique. Not to mention I'd seen great progress in my strength and ability compared to when I first joined. Seeing myself now able to lift weights that previously used to crush me completely changed my self-image. I was no longer that weak, anorexic boy. Both of these victories, getting better grades and gaining size and strength at the gym, had a profound impact on my social skills. I was no longer nervous around people because I finally stopped thinking of myself as a loser. I now considered myself rather smart and strong. This change in self-image led to a snowball effect. Initially, whenever I decided to do something new, I always thought that I'm going to fail at it. And guess what? I did fail at it. But ever since I got this new self-image, I started each task with thoughts like, of course I'm gonna do it. Who else? And my success rate actually improved. He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. Here's something else that you can do. You need to become your own lawyer. Each day, preferably in the morning, you need to make a case for yourself. You need to list down every single thing that you have done that could be deemed as success. Perhaps it's the time you did 10 push-ups in a row and did well at a certain exam. I literally deluded myself into having a better self-image even before I started going to the gym or studying, listing all my accomplishments and truly believing that I am a man who is good at things. Having this positive self-image actually made the task of going to the gym and studying much easier. I had watched a video of Jordan Peterson talking about how there are people who are scared of being stuck in an elevator. They suffer from something called agoraphobia. To them, an elevator is a fear-inducing torture device. He mentioned that a way to treat such a person would be to expose them to that fear in a controlled and safe setting. So for example, the first week, you just show them pictures of elevators. I mean, it might still be fear-inducing, but it's an amount of fear that they can usually manage. The next week, you show them an actual elevator in real life. The doors of that elevator might be closed and they're a reasonable distance away from it. Now, this too might be fear-inducing, but it's the amount of fear that they can overcome. The next week, you show them an elevator with its doors opening and they're inches away from it. To them, these doors would be like just the doors of hell opening. They once again feel fear, but the dosage is low, so they overcome it. Finally, they have built enough tolerance that now this person whose nightmare was an elevator is actually able to use an elevator and no longer needs to climb 400 stairs. This is called exposure therapy. You see, when you're fearful of something, you tend to avoid it completely. Perhaps this avoidance might reduce the fear and anxiety that you have in the short run, but in the long run, it will make it much worse. In such situations, you need to break this pattern of avoidance. You need to voluntarily get these micro exposures to that thing that scares you. The exposure to the fear thing in a safe environment helps reduce the fear. Your elevator is social situations. Because I was so afraid of social interactions, I started avoiding them, and over time this thing that was just a tiny baby dragon grew into a full-fledged monster. What I then started doing was voluntarily initiating mini conversations with strangers. So if I saw a dude at the gym who I see regularly, I would say something like, "Hey man, how's it going? What are you training today?" Or if I saw someone perform a really good technique in martial arts, then I would go like, "Hey bro, that was pretty dope. Could you tell me how you did that?" You have to voluntarily expose yourself to social settings in order to eradicate that fear. Take small doses of that fear. Now at this point, I could have deep philosophical conversations with absolutely anyone. I could speak to a room full of strangers without a hint of concern. Recreating my self-image and exposure therapy were the tools that allowed me to transform myself. There are a few things that you can do to enhance your conversational skills. Once you know that you are an interesting person to talk to, it further improves your self-image and lowers the fear of social interactions. So make sure that you watch this video to upgrade your conversational skills.